Vendor, Ms. Dawn Diener. If you would, Ms. Davis, we certainly appreciate you being here. If you would just introduce your associate, and then we have the question, if you don't mind, of can you operate within the mayor's proposed budget? Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Pridemore. I am Dawn Diener. With me is Annette Crutchfield, our Administrative Services Manager. Typically, I have our Deputy Public Defender with me, Geraldine Manning, but she is under the weather today, and so she went on home, and that's where she needed to be. The Public Defender's Office can live within the proposed budget from the Mayor's Office, and with that, I have a few remarks I wanted to make, and then we'll be happy to try and answer questions from council members. This is the 7th time I've been here, and I always appreciate the opportunity to talk about the work that the Public Defender's Office does, the people who do that work, and the people who we serve. Over the past year, Americans have been talking more than ever about the multitude of issues, difficult issues, that we face in our approach to criminal justice in this country. Whether it's mass incarceration or secret government surveillance of individuals, whether it's criminalization of the poor and mentally ill, or decriminalization of marijuana possession and other minor offenses, greater transparency in policing practices, or racial disparities in our courthouses, our jails, our prisons, and amongst those who are victims of violence crime. And as I've watched those events unfold and those conversations happening, one constant that I always see in places where some of the greatest problems exist is that there are no lawyers, and specifically no public defenders, to stand up in opposition to unfairness, to speak out in protest, to protect the innocent, to demand the kind of justice that our Bill of Rights promises to every individual resident in this country. And so this year I wanted to take the opportunity to just say in a slightly different way what it is that we do at the Public Defender's Office here in Nashville for our clients and for this community. We protect the ideals that this country was founded on. Those ideals are fairness, equality, liberty, and protection from government overreach. We shine a light on innocence. We seek justice, we defend the Constitution, and we consider ourselves liberty's last champion. That's what we do. And I'm so proud of the work that the people at our office, the time, the effort, the compassion, the passion, and the devotion that they exhibit day in and day out to that work. I was at the office last night around 7:45 leaving, and as I was leaving, I ran into 5 lawyers who were still at the office working at 7:45 last night. And that speaks to me, that's the best example I can tell you of the devotion that the people at the Public Defender's Office have to the work that we do. They are tireless servants for the poor in this community, and I'm really proud of them, of the social workers, the investigators, the secretaries, and everybody who puts in their time and effort to serve this community. So that's just my shout out to them. I think the budget book speaks to the accomplishments and the goals and the strategic issues that we have had this year. We're proud of expanding our vertical representation or expanding our system in which the same lawyer is representing the same client throughout the entire case. We are also in the midst of implementing rigorous time tracking for the entire office. And that's not really a matter of sort of keeping up with what time you come in or you leave, but it is a system by which all employees using our case management system are entering time into case files electronically for what they're spending their time doing, how they're spending their time working on those cases and in the office and outside the office, as part of a workload standard study that we're involved in and that we hope will produce a report by the end of this calendar year, early next in 2016, that will give us an ability to really establish the right kinds of workload standards to ensure that we can continue to provide effective representation to every single client of the office that same kind of representation that the Bill of Rights entitles everybody to receive. So with that, I will take questions.
Thank you, Councilman Tigard.
Thank you. That was an inspiring speech. I appreciate your passion and energy that you bring to the department. As an elected official, I'm asking folks, with the increased scrutiny of working and doing our jobs, would you be supportive of an annual disclosure statement identifying the days that you show up at the office and are working to represent the people that you represent?
Absolutely. I would love it if I could get extra credit for Saturday and Sundays.
Absolutely, you should.
But absolutely, I have no problem doing that.
Thank you.
Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And as always, I mean, you do take the job very seriously, and I've known you since we did the Donaldson Hermitage Leadership class, and enjoyed getting to know you there. You look at what you had budgeted as far as your expenses in 14 for about $5.9 million. Your actuals came in at about 5.5. Then the budget for this year was 6.2. Do you feel like you're going to come in underneath that again? Because it sounds like your workload is not necessarily decreasing. So I guess a very broad question would be, how do you feel like you're able to continue coming in below what was budgeted with regards to your expenses?
I think that's really a product of turnover within the office and the time that it takes to then fill those positions. That's particularly true when you're talking about attorney hiring. Oftentimes you're looking to hire attorneys who are graduating from law school, and that's a set schedule. So everybody's graduating in May. If I have a vacancy, if I have a lawyer leave in February, really what I'm looking to do is I'll be filling that with somebody who's graduating from law school in May or June. And so that position goes unfilled for a few months, waiting on that arrival to come, and that creates some savings in our budget. I certainly would not want that coming in under budget to be perceived as not having the need for those resources. It's just really a matter of the timing of being able to get those folks into the office.
Okay, and I think that was my question, and you answered it very nicely. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Council Lady Langster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good to see you again, Attorney Don Dina.
You too, Council Lady.
I wanted to ask you, the mayor has always been very concerned about diversity in metro government department heads. I would like to know the diversity that you have in your office that you can tell us about.
Sure. Obviously, I think the Human Resources Department provided some data to the council, and I would sort of say that I think how I would characterize diversity in our office is a little bit different than those spreadsheets looked at.
Okay.
Our deputy public defender is an African American woman, and I believe that in the HR categorization, they were looking at, I think they qualified upper management versus middle management, and I think they were looking strictly at the job classification descriptions. And so, for instance, they're looking at who are our senior lawyers as our upper management, and so they've classified 12 upper management employees. How I would look at our upper management tends to do with our team leaders in the office, people who are in positions of leadership. Our chief investigator is an African American man, and we have, of our other 6 investigators on staff, one is an African American female, one is a Latino male, and the others are Caucasian. As we look at our team leaders amongst our lawyers, our team leader in General Sessions Court, which is our largest team of lawyers, is an African American female. We also have amongst our team leaders in the other parts of the office, I think primarily Caucasians. Again, that is oftentimes a product of who's been at the office the longest. We are absolutely committed to developing a diverse staff, and that can be challenging when it comes to hiring lawyers. The population of minorities that are enrolling in law school is actually on the decline. And so as you're looking at graduating law school students, it is becoming a smaller group to recruit from, and then even then you need to find individuals who are interested in coming into the criminal justice system. So I think that the breakout of our overall diversity is, if I can read these charts correctly, We have 78 current employees on staff. 19 of them are considered to be minorities. So 19 of the 78, 59 are Caucasian.
Thank you. And one last question. Do you have any law interns this summer working with you? Thank you.
We absolutely do. We take great advantage of law school students who want to come and learn about what it's like to work at a public defender's office. We do not have paid internships any longer at our office. A lot of law schools today are offering stipend programs for their students who choose to do public interest work over the summer. And so a lot of students can take advantage of that. Not everybody can, but that's sort of where we're at on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and seeing no other council people in the queue, this concludes your presentation. Thank you for being here.